Hello there folks, my name is Spooks and welcome back to another episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I break down the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and see how well each movie did. So let's get started. Number 5 was Migration, making $2.8 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $120 million and a worldwide total of $268 million. So Migration has now surpassed Ninja Turtles to become the 4th biggest animated film of the year. Domestically, it has already surpassed that worldwide, but on the worldwide side of things as well, it is now a little over $30 million away from surpassing $300 million worldwide, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. It's still doing very well internationally, substantially well as a matter of fact, and once again it doesn't hit Japan until the middle of March, so there is a good shot this movie could surpass that milestone. Definitely not going to surpass the Lorax, but if it really finds an audience in Japan, then I think we could see the film surpassing the $300 million milestone. And even still, domestically, just the staying power, like this is like the last of the Christmas holdovers, still in the top 5. Yes, it outlasted Aquaman, Anyone But You, and Wonka in terms of longevity and staying in the top 5. This movie has just been really maintaining its core audience, and for good reason, as there aren't any animated kids movies out. It's still got 1 week left before Kung Fu Panda 4 hits theaters, as a matter of fact, so I think this movie has 1 good week left for it, and then it'll probably be on its way out. But still though, even with it not being one of the bigger Illumination films, this is still a modest hit after all. $72 million budget, and this total is not bad at all, especially after that not great opening. So yes, Migration continuing to doing very well, and very satisfied seeing how well it's been doing. Number 4 was Madam Web, making $5.9 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $35 million and a worldwide total of $77 million. So positives, it held better than I thought it was going to do, and given where it's at, it should surpass $100 million worldwide. That's an accomplishment, and domestically it's going to surpass $50 million. It should be able to do that, right? Right. All right, let's get to the meat of this. Yeah, even though it held better than I thought it would, it still dropped significantly. It fell 61% from last weekend. The word of mouth on this has just been terrible, and the fact that it has yet to surpass its $80 to $100 million budget worldwide is quite concerning. This is not where the movie should be at all. Unfortunately, this is going to be a pretty big flop for Sony, definitely, and another big flop for the comic book movie genre, not starting the year off strong. Unfortunately, this is just a really bad performance overall. I don't see how this movie is going to salvage this, especially with the competition on the horizon. This was probably its only chance to really salvage this, but unfortunately it's just not looking likely. Audiences don't want to check this out, and as a result the movie is suffering because of it. Yeah, overall just a pretty bad performance for Madam Web. Number 3 was Ordinary Angels, opening with $6.1 million domestically this weekend, and that total stays the same as it hasn't been released in any international countries yet. So this actually surprised me. I thought this movie would do a bit better than it actually did, with the whole religious crowd. I thought this would have maybe appealed to the Christian faith-based fans a bit more, given the subject matter and the fact that it's inspired by true events. I thought this would have done a bit better, maybe on par with like Jesus Revolution from last year, but no, it actually came in a lot lower than I expected, which I guess I should have expected, honestly. The marketing wasn't that great and the buzz wasn't really there. I didn't see a lot of people talking about this movie, and it was also one of the movies that was pushed back as a result of the writers and actors strike. This was actually supposed to come out last October, and it got pushed back to February, so I think that may have hurt the film there too. But there is a bright side to this, unlike Madam Web. Those who did go to see this movie loved it. It got the rare A+ cinema score rating. So if this movie can somehow pull off, like an Anyone But You level amount of word of mouth and hype and acclaim, then I think we could see this movie salvaging this. I don't think it costs that much. I'm not aware of the budget, but in all honesty, I don't think it costs that much. And if clearly people like it, so if enough people encourage others to go check it out, then I think we could see something like Anyone But You, or even Jesus Revolution to some degree, just something that completely surprises and becomes a sleeper hit. But as for right now, and as far as its opening, things don't look great for Ordinary Angels. It's gonna have to really pick up the pace, especially with March around the corner, and like I said, the competition's gonna be fierce, so we'll see what happens. Definitely going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on, but as far as its opening, things aren't looking that great. Number 2 was Demon Slayer, opening with $11 million this weekend domestically and $22 million worldwide. In terms of the other Demon Slayer movies that have released, it is $10 million less than the one that came out in 2020, but $1 million over the one that came out last year. So right in the middle is where this film has landed, and it's another case of these anime movies based off popular anime that definitely shake up the box office. Obviously, this wasn't as big as the first installment of this film franchise, but this is still a pretty impressive total given the minimal marketing I've seen, and the fact of low general buzz towards this film as well. I think it also took advantage of a very small weekend. This was one of the only major things out. I think that it intrigued people to go check something out at the movie theater, which is pretty impressive overall. So yeah, just not much more else to say here. It's another anime movie. I do expect this to be front loaded. We'll probably see a big drop off next weekend, since the opening weekend is mostly the hardcore diehard fans wanting to go check the film out as soon as possible, and then everyone else not really caring much to go and check it out in the coming weeks. But yeah, still another solid weekend for Demon Slayer movies, another solid opening for a Demon Slayer movie. Yeah, just not much more else to say here from me. And finally, let's end the video off with the number 1 movie of the weekend, which was once again Bob Marley, One Love, making $13 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $71 million and a worldwide total of $110 million. On the domestic side of things, it has surpassed its initial $70 million budget and is just $1 million away from surpassing Mean Girls to become the biggest film of the year, which, judging by the time this video comes out, it will pretty much surpass that. So, pre-celebration, congratulations right there. And worldwide, not only has it also surpassed the initial budget, but also the $100 million milestone, which is fantastic to see. And all it needs to do now is just double that budget. We'll see if it can get to there. Again, March is a very, very busy month. We got a pretty big movie coming out this weekend. We'll see how much thunder it steals away from Bob Marley. But if it can continue to hold well, if it can continue to be solid counter programming and continue to make a name for itself, then yes, I think we will be able to see this film surpass the doubling point, at least worldwide. Because once again, the word of mouth on this has just been so electric. It's been so great. Everyone who has seen the film has been talking about it and really enjoying it, and it has definitely made use of the slow period we're in. Outside of Mean Girls and maybe The Beekeeper, there has been nothing really substantial coming out of the box office late. So the fact that this movie has been doing as well as it has is definitely something that movie theaters really needed, but also, definitely something the box office really needed as well. Something to really, get things moving forward in terms of making money and making successful movies right now. So yeah, overall another solid weekend for Bob Marley. Again, very curious to see how this is going to do after this weekend. We'll see if it can still put up a good fight, but yeah, still things are looking pretty good for Bob Marley, One Love. And those were your top 5 domestic box office results for this weekend, but we're not quite done yet, as we've got another week ahead of us and new movies hitting theaters. And this weekend we have one new major wide release, that film being Dune Part 2. This is the long-awaited second part to Denis Villeneuve's Dune saga, and of course, I think this movie is going to do very, very well. The marketing for this film has been fantastic. I've been seeing a lot of promotion, a lot of stuff for this recently. The buzz is electric. This is definitely the most hyped and talked about new wide release since, I don't know, Barbie, Oppenheimer. It's been a while since I've seen anticipation and hype for a movie to this degree. Well, maybe not Barbie and Oppenheimer, maybe more like Five Nights at Freddy's or the Taylor Swift movie. I was being a bit over exaggerated there, but yeah, still been a while since I've seen a movie with this level of excitement and buzz about it. I really think, with how the film was once again delayed due to the writers and actors strike like Ordinary Angels, that probably made hype and interest a bit more positive, as people just wanted to see the movie even more than they were excited to see it prior. So that probably helped out, I guess. But yeah, given the slow period we're at, and given the acclaim that the first film has gotten, and this new one especially, I don't typically talk about reviews on this segment anymore, but the reviews here for this movie are insanely positive. Some are saying it's one of the greatest movies ever made, so that's definitely going to help the movie out for sure. So yeah, overall, I think this movie's going to really kill it on its opening weekend. We'll see how it fares throughout the very competitive March, but I think Dune is definitely going to do very, very well. I have very high expectations for how this movie's going to do. But we'll see how well this movie truly does, as well as the rest of the movies that land in the top 5 on the next Box Office Chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you all think of the results? Were you satisfied? Unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links right there. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.